What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming for the Thursday night live talk show that we do on Tabletop Miniature Wargaming 40k related information. Got James and Chris here with me.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, what episode is this even?
It's episode 39. I think last
420
week
and 5.
I said it was going to be episode 40, but you know, I really don't know how to count very well. I think we've already skipped a few.
Numbers.
I try to do my best to count the dice correctly. Yeah,
Numbers don't matter. Like, come on.
I do my best not to cheat, and when you do your best, that means it's all good. I hope to play someone in our tournament coming up.
You're playing nobody, sir. Nobody wants to play you. You stink.
The thing that makes me nervous each time is I really want to play, but I need an odd number of people to show up for me to get a chance. Because otherwise, I'm not going to make someone sit out with a bye, you know, just so I can play. You know, and that's RTT style. Of course, if we went to a more high-end level, then we might have to either get some volunteers or just opt to sit out anyways. At our Gallery 5 tournaments we did in 2018, I definitely just formally took up the TO role. Those are some pretty big deals. Those are good times.
Certainly.
Those are good times. You know, there's as people might start to jump in and say, hey, maybe we'll get a chicken bone out there, maybe an ice wolf. Who knows? We got a lot going on in 2019 here. Got a lot going on both in the tabletop miniature wargaming world and in Warp Charge Gaming's land. I know that this weekend we are going to be at Battlegrounds, our favorite game store, and we're going to be rocking some tournaments. This weekend is going to be Kill Team. Looking forward to that, particularly because I just got a new Kill Team. I'll show you some pictures of that in a second. And then the February 2nd, this will be the third year in a row we've thrown a tournament on this weekend. And this will be 2,000 point 40k ITC mission tournament. Looking really forward to that. We're talking, got a lot of people. I keep getting knocks on the door like, hey, like, do I need to pre-register? I'm worried about you guys selling out. That's all. I'm getting excited because it seems like we're going to get a pretty big crowd. No one will be turned away. We will make space. We have lots of space already, and it's historically never filled up. But we have plenty of extra terrain, mats, and tables to accommodate more people than I could imagine coming.
So would you be excited if it filled up, you know, turning people away, or would you be sad?
I would not turn them away. I would not turn them away.
Then what if you just didn't have the table space? What would you do?
There's a bar next door, and we got some pretty decent relationship. We'll be like, hey, guys, we're going to need a couple pool tables.
Let's borrow your pool tables.
Yep, we're going to need these.
All right.
The show must go on. I'll pop up take my truck bed and just take the tailgate.
Yo,
down.
if that happens, dibs on the pool table if I play.
You heard it here
I know, you know, like I'm not trying to like use our Warp Charge cloud here, but I feel like dibs.
Yeah, nice. We just got a Gordito Spree jumping in saying, what up, playa? What's up, Gordito? Good to have you, man. Welcome to the show. We're just talking about the tournaments coming up, both this Saturday and next Saturday, Kill Team, and then into 40K. The tournament-wise, I've been doing a little bit of practicing. Played last night. Now, I want to talk to you guys about your thoughts, but I did 3 games in a row last night on Twitch playing my new Gellerpox. Let me show you guys some images here. James just got these finished painted up and shipped out to me, and the Gellerpox infected for the Rogue Trader box. I'm just in love with the models. They look amazing. They're show-stopping, jaw-dropping. And so I got to play them. And turns out, and what I already kind of knew but didn't want to believe, but now I've really experienced, is that they are a little underwhelming with their rule set. It's been kind of a challenge. So I've played 7 games now of Kill Team with them and a few games with 40K with them. I'm actually starting to get more successful with my 40K list than I am with them in Kill Team. They are all close combat, no guns really, hardly at all. And I was gonna ask you guys. I did like 3 bat reps in a row last night, and I want to just dump them onto YouTube. You know, just 3 bat reps in a row. But I also don't want to like have it be a bad viewer experience to like get in your feed like 7 notifications of video drops from Warp Charge. You know, is it better to like, should I just kind of divvy them out like every 12 hours or something? Like I have 6 bat reps, maybe 7 of kill team, and you know what I mean. So I don't want to just dump them all out, but that's how they're recorded on the Twitch. What do you think, James?
Dump
Just dump them. Just be like, here's just fuck. There you go. There's all the.
Dude, especially on a Friday.
Cool.
Yeah, dump that shit.
All right, so I'll just dump a whole bunch of kill team footage. If you guys want to check us out on Twitch, you can watch the backlog footage on Twitch. That's the fastest way to see our information, our videos that are done live anyways. And then typically you're getting a repost or an edited version on YouTube. We're trying to build an audience at both locations. Gordito's talking some shit. He's like saying...
Yeah, I cheated. We went over this. Gordito wasn't with us. But yeah, I cheated. I owned up to it. What do you want me to do? What do you mean? Like Forge World and online shit, like not printed in books, same model, 2 different rule sets. Then yeah, what do you fucking expect?
I
fucking cheated.
Gordito's making known that he's got caught up. I knew you'd be watching those other shows, brother. We communicate out to you even if we don't see you, and it looks like we got some good responses. Nice. Thanks, brother man. Well, I look forward to facing you at Adepticon, man. It's going to be gnarly. And, yeah, James and I are both playing the morning and evening on Friday. I think it's Friday, right, James?
Friday, yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be sweet. I can't wait to bring the Gellerpox, but dude, I'm totally gonna bring. That's the beauty of Kill Team. I'm playing in 5 different events, so I'm gonna bring probably several different factions, and I'm gonna do my best to take one of those events home with the Gellerpox, and I'm gonna do. And then if worse comes to worse, I'll probably try like the first 3 times with the Gellerpox, and if I fail 3 times in a row, then I'll bust out the Harlequins for the last 2. I got messed.
Like you want to cheat. Sounds like you want to cheat.
I want to pull out some cheese if I need to. The Gellerpox, you got to definitely like stroke your chin and think about it. No mistakes.
That's what she said.
Yeah, you got to stroke that chin. The Gellerpox though, they were designed. There's been some interesting talk about how they're kind of considered like non-player characters. They were the villain of the Rogue Trader box set. So let me pull up a picture of the Rogue Trader box. You can see the Gellerpox all in these close quarters. This is where they first introduced the ultra close confine rules. And now they're coming out with pre-order is about to go down like this week or something. But Kill Team
Saturday.
Yeah, so this new competitive play box. And basically what it is that they're talking like you're going to play with the ultra close confine rules. They're taking that into the competitive environment instead of just a Rogue Trader expansion. And they designed the boards, the kill zones, to be optimized for fair competitive play, where it gives value to both shooting and combat. And makes people have to make tough decisions when it comes. You can see there in this shot that long corridor there on the bottom left, and then there's kind of more tighter quarters as you get centrally. Here's another shot of it. But the Gellerpox, they shine definitely with the ultra close confine rules because there's a lot of additional ways to hide and kind of show yourself in front of the person. It's more difficult to maneuver, get a good shot. So they're definitely more combat oriented in this environment. So it's interesting to see versus making the faction better. There's a different mode of play that might make them better in itself. And
like narrative play.
Yeah, another neat thing about it is they're adding team play. They're giving you team play competitive mission packet. I think it's 4 missions dedicated around playing 2v2. So that'll be cool to introduce into the tournament circuit there. But for 40k though, like coming up for the tournament, I've been putting them into my Nurgle list, and I basically made a list around them, and I wanted to bring as many Nurgle models as I could. When you bring the Gellerpox in 40k, you pretty much have to take them as a patrol detachment, and part of the units don't even count as force org slots. I don't believe you get any OPSEC within the list, within the patrol detachment. So I just basically take Thrice Cursed and the coolest looking models of the and the most effective for the 40k rules for the Gellerpox, and then take 90 Plague Bearers, a Great Unclean One, 4 Plague Drones. Epidemus is a star of a show, racking up plague points to buff my army pretty much. 5 Beast of Nurgle, and and of course the
gross looking army.
The Spoil Pox and the Scrivener and the Poxbringer. it's I've been having a great time with all the Nurgle buffs, man. Just to rattle it off, kind of the magic of it is that I believe it is the Scrivener that he gives you +1 to hit, and then if you roll 6s, they count as 7s, and 7s to hit count as additional bonus attacks. And then on top of that, you have an icon for being pure Nurgle. And if you're within range of any of the Nurgle characters that are Nurgle Demon, they all have an icon. And they, on 6s to wound, they count as an extra damage. So that's when you're 6s to wound, when you hit those 6, and then the sick thing is the Plague Bearers, they all re-roll to wound. So if you don't get your 5s or 6s that you're trying to kill something meaty, you're just re-rolling and getting even more opportunities for those double damage hits.
Dude, against Knights, that's really good.
The crazy thing is that, so like you take the Nurglings, there's 3 units of Nurglings, you pop them into somebody's face, you go steal like a upfront objective early, not care that they pop these units. You basically spend 150 points of them like wasting shots and killing them to bust up your Plague Tide by up to 3. All of a sudden you're re-rolling 1s army wide, getting +1 strength, getting +1 toughness, getting +1 attack, and it starts to get really gnarly. Then, of course, you take the Plague banner and you make it so once per game your Plague Bearers do 2 damage. I've been doing Denizens of the Warp on those and deep striking those in. They have an icon and an instrument. That's the other thing is the Bile Piper. He has 2 cool benefits. One, he makes Nurglings and Great Unclean Ones be able to advance and charge. So you can advance and charge your Great Unclean One potentially on first turn if you have like a Search and Destroy deployment. And then on top of that, he gets it so that when you roll your morale, you roll 2d6 and discard the highest, because you put icons on all 3 of the Plague Bearer units, and you're trying to pop that one to get d6 back. The other sick thing is that the Great Unclean One on every turn, the Nurgle demons within 6 of them, on a 4+, he gives 1 back to the unit if they lost an A. So your Plague Drones or your Plague Beasts, your Beasts of Nurgle, those are chunkier squads, and if they're next to your shit, you're regenerating those on 4s every turn. So there's just a lot of fun synergy there, and it's really tough to crack through. Of course, when the Plague Bearers are above 20 or more, they are -1 to hit. You put Miasma, Pestilence on them.
And getting to reroll 1s on Disgustingly Resilient is quite frankly very disgustingly resilient.
That's the max result. Yeah, you got to do I believe you got to get 7 kills or deaths. And that's the fun thing I learned in today's game. I did really well in a game today, and it was I was playing against Death Guard, and he had Nurgle Demon Princes and the Bloat Drones, and they were Nurgle Demons. And as he killed my stuff, it actually count for 2 points, 1 for him killing Nurgle and then him for being Nurgle. So it was pretty cool. And the funny thing is that the Plague Tide from Epidemus only affects friendly Nurgle Demons, while activating the chart is from friend or foe, both in death and in killing. So pretty neat. But yeah, not to mention you got so many freaking troops that you have so much OPSEC out there as well. So I've been really having a good time with it, and that's cool for me, especially because it's funny because the Gellerpox are practically nearly nothing, but the neat utility that they have for such a slow army is that you take Thrice Cursed, Vulgar Thrice Cursed as your Warlord. That gives you 3 command points that you can use on the Gellerpox only. So because you're 2 battalions right there, that's 13 command points, plus the bonus 3 that comes from Thrice Cursed, 16 CP. And the Gellerpox ones are that you can spend 1 command point and teleport your Gellerpox mutants anywhere on the board, and more than 9 away from your enemy lines, or help you get recon, and you can do it every turn. And then beyond that, if they kill any of the parasites, you can bring them back for 1 CP and just again put them in some annoying place that helps you score points. So great for scoring, and I found that a pretty fun utility, I must say. Yeah, so that's my rant and rave about the Gellerpox and the Nurgle. I wanted to. That's the newest.
Well, and
for me.
And it wasn't televised, but the less optimized version of the list actually beat my standard working list right now. What was like 28-25?
Yeah, very close thing. Thank you, Chris, for mentioning, because I can't beat this guy on stream, but I got him off cam.
No, I mean, It was good. It was really good. Like I was impressed with how you worked the concept, and the list looks like it's gotten better. I want to play against it again soon for sure.
The playing you was the practice that got it and got the tweak with the great unclean one and everything. So it definitely got better playing against you that night. And I also noticed that I roll better off camera. I don't know what it is, but I was rolling hot as F today, and I was like, I used to roll this way. I remember being really good at rolling. Yeah, it's a headspace. How many? I wonder if other people, anybody that watches this show, we usually get about 85 views or whatever. How do you folks out there watching? How many of you think that dice rolls are a part of your headspace? Do you feel like if you're in a good mood, like do you think you can get on tilt if you start feeling like you're just gonna roll shitty? You're like, I always roll ones, and you got that 2-up save, and you hit the 1, you do your re-roll, and you re-roll to the 1, still perils. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen people that start rolling bad get in a poopy pants type mindset and continue to roll even worse. And like the person that's not rolling that bad, like starts to feel like your rolls are amazing, and they keep thinking your rolls are amazing, and that just keeps happening and happening.
Oh yeah, certainly. I've seen that before. And I think, at least for me, at least with stuff like random luck and dice and stuff like that, I always have felt like throughout my life that I am like just naturally lucky. So like when I see the luck go sour, I'm like, I guess this is me paying for all my good luck. Like,
what about you, James? You got any sort of voodoo-y feelings about luck or about dice rolls, or do you think it's all just fucking numbers?
I have mixed feelings, actually. I typically want to say it's all numbers, but I do roll a 5-up better than I roll a 3-up. If that makes sense.
Right.
Like I stay away from things that they have 3-up invols because I can make my 5-up invol just as well. Because like I go to roll that 3-up invol and I'm rolling 1s and 2s, but if I go to roll the 5-up, I hit 5s all the time.
I think that, well, it's another weird superstition. Like, how like you may roll a shit ton of like if you have a reroll, like reroll 1s or something, and you throw a bunch of dice and you get a bad roll, but then you reroll them, you can get some it always feels like as long as you have some rerolls, like the dice rolls come out pretty strong. Like you seem like you get the roll you were supposed to get on the second roll. I don't know. Here's a weird superstition. Like whenever you got a lot of times I feel it with like when you get the command point back. So like let's say you do your strat to do a reroll, and then it's like, okay, do you do your reroll first or do you do get the command point back first? And I get superstitious about that. I don't like to do the command point back first. I like to do the reroll first.
On that metric, I feel like with the command point reroll, I feel like I only ever make the reroll if it's something that I don't care very much about. Like I'm like, I'm not sure. Like I could afford to make this invuln save. I'll pass this with the reroll. But like if it's something like, oh yeah, I need this to reroll this 1 with a command point and make it like a 2, it's like, oh, that's coming back up a 1, like for sure. I promise you.
I don't know. Like, today I see a lot of these dice are, like separating the dice as you go rolling, like that, screw this dice. And you like almost throw it against the wall and you just try to find the ones that you feel like the magic voodoo are coming off of. People do it all the time.
Yeah, I do not do that at all.
Well, you don't have to when you roll warp charge dice. So just a quick plug, y'all. Go to warpchargegaming.com. Check out the shop.
I hooked up some people that at Battlegrounds that I was watching game with some warp charge dice. Nice. Got them on the page and whatnot. And nice. Like I walked away and immediately they were like, dude, like I've rolled more 6s with these dice than I can count. I was like, excellent.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I hit my buddy rolled so bad today. I had to throw him some green dice today. Had to give him some vortex. I was like, dude, you whiffed hard. He had the, oh man, yeah, just so many times. It was like he needed 3s to hit, and he rolled like 3 2s and 1s. I was like, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can pull up a shot of some dice here. So what's up for you guys, tournament-wise, 40K-wise, anything particular?
Not really myself. I've got to get 2 practice games in next week before the tournament. I'd like to get more, but I don't think that I'll be able to get more than two.
There's a shot of some dice for you, y'all. Sexy Vortex green there. Chris, did you already have those 2 games scheduled? I'd love to play.
I was holding one of the slots for you, sir.
Wonderful.
So as far as my 2,000 point list, I don't have shit. James. As you guys know, I'm a damn cheater, so I threw that list away because it cheated. And I'm not even going to try to like change it or adapt it.
I don't remember the cheat. Oh, yeah, no, I remember.
With the drill.
Yeah, Gordito's catching up. You played the wrong profile. You're a son of a bitch, James.
Yeah, man. So I just threw that away. But I have a 1,500-point tournament playing Maelstrom missions coming up this Saturday at Planet Chaos in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. And there I'm bringing a stupid list that is I should die in turn 1 or 2. Or it's going to be a lot of fun for me playing like into turn 5. So the list is basically World Leaders Battalion because they're doing single battalion. And for my 3 HQs, I have an Exalted Champion, a Dark Apostle for my reroll hits, reroll wounds in combat, and then a Demon Prince of Khorne. And then for my troops, I have 2 units of Berserkers, 10 mans with chain swords and chain axes. And same with the champs, and they both have the banners. And then for the other 3rd troop choice, I have 40 World Eater cultists with brutal assault weapons. And then there's a rhino and a drill. And this time, it's the correct drill. And
nice.
That's like, I don't know, like 1,200 points maybe, but that's my list. So the plan is to summon a Herald of Khorne and then 2 units of 20-man bloodletters. Since it's a single battalion tournament, I can't bring in demons otherwise unless I give up all strats. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't give up traits, can't give up strats. So I'm doing world leaders with summoning.
I think that's fun that you get to build something unique to the
It's super fluffy. I mean, when I'm doing my drops, I have 1 going in reserve, which is the drill. I have the Rhino, I have a Demon Prince, and then I have the Cultist. So it's literally just 4 drops.
Dang.
Like it feels weird. Movement's weird. All until I can summon the bloodletters, it just feels really, really weird.
How many points is that tournament?
1,500 points.
Do you think, James? I was just reading about. It was on the actual what is it? Coastal Wargaming Cats. I've been mentioning them a few times. They're the Virginia Beach, Norfolk area, and they were having a chat on their thread about chess clocks and there was several opinions that that the community just has to admit that 2,000 points is too many points to be able to achieve 6 rounds in 2.5 hours. Do you think that a 1750, I guess even there was mention that in Europe, 1750 is more of a typical number. What do you think about that points should be less or tournaments longer?
Well, I'm all for chess clocks. Mm-hmm. Like, I think different tournaments have different standards as far as like their competitive scene, like their local meta. But I mean, if you're doing a GT prep or you have a competitive scene, then chess clocks are the way to go. I've been in tournaments where 1,500 points takes just as long as 2,000 points. And lately, the 2,000 point tournaments I've been to were typically all the tables, and I'm talking at 6 to 12 tables, are all finishing by 30 minutes left in the round. Like we're getting. Does that change
how many detachments we have?
Your points?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Goes down to 2, I think.
It goes down to 2, but we're doing a single battalion, so you can't even pick anything else besides 1 battalion.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I've only had 1 test game against the Necrons, and honestly, when we deployed, I felt like I was going to lose. I felt like Necrons actually had the advantage in a single battalion format at 1,500 points. I mean, you just had so much stuff compared to my 4 drops. And when I started my turn 2, I had 9 Berserkers left. The Rhino was gone. 1 Berserker died and the Rhino exploding. The Demon Prince was dead. All 40 cultists were dead. So I was able to bring in my drill because I brought the correct drill. The characters were allowed to get out. So were the berserkers. I was able to make my charge to kill what I needed to kill. He couldn't get to my characters, so by turn 3, I was able to summon all my bloodletters. And well, I summoned a bloodletter unit and then the herald, and then the next turn the herald summoned the other bloodletter unit, and I ended up winning that game from going 9 models on turn 2 to like finishing out turn 5 with like complete total dominance.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm excited about this tournament, is because it's right next to a bar. We typically pre-game before the tournament even begins, and then I'm either going to get tabled real quick, or it's going to be just a fun game of like corn happening. Yeah, and that's just cool.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool. You know, I'm kind of inspired, man. Especially, and you know, we mentioned this a little bit on Monday night and we kind of alluded to it. But we're getting ready to move into Battlegrounds. We've done a lot of talking about Battlegrounds. Here's our logo and twine. We partnered with them in the early of 2018, and since then, we are now moving into the game store as they complete their renovations. The store is now larger than any other store in Virginia. Tons of space, and we're getting our own little hood cut out in the Battleground store, and just really, really excited about it. And by being there a ton more often, like 7 days a week style, we're going to be able to really pump out a lot more additional content. And I've already been doing 2 to 3 tournaments a month for several months now, but I'm thinking a big plan for Warp Charge Gaming events is that I want to get consistent with the same weekend each month for the rest of the year, and really get to post, really get to get behind a single date, so that our friends like say Dark Bunny Creative and whatnot can help us push a singular overall event versus just kind of having the random one-offs. And with that, though, I'm also very interested in doing 2 events. Like I'm going to be there 7 days a week, and I want to create as much content as possible. And you know, having competitive play, live streams all day sounds awesome. So, you know, for me, there's 4 Saturdays in the month. Maybe it should be, I could do 2 kill team tournaments, do kill team and then do commander. And I could do 2 40K tournaments, like 1500 single battalion style, whatever, some sort of remix of that, like a more low point version, and then do a 2K ITC like chess clock. Because I think that you can isolate and bastardize or kind of push aside your make people feel unwelcome if you make it completely tournament play. And I think having a organized approach of showing people from the get-go that there's both that are being supported together, then it won't feel like, what's the next one going to be? Is it going to be narrative? Is it going to be competitive? How about there's 2 a month, fools? You can do both. You can do one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about getting that started just keep on cruising right into February and on with doing consistent tournaments each month. For first Saturday of the month. Is it?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
I think that's kind of cool, man, especially if you're trying to cater to the entire community as a whole. I think it's pretty cool. Me personally, I like competitive play. But I wouldn't mind, in my ideal world of liking competitive play, I would once a month, a nice, good, well-organized tournament. And then I would once a month having a smaller cash game where
sure,
it's
always that, yeah. Well, there's also
it's maybe a top of 5 tables, 10 dudes.
Yeah.
And you're throwing down $25 a piece, and first and second take home money, and that's it.
Okay, that's fun too. But also you can flip the narrative one with teams too. So you'd have 2 a month. Well, you could even do that with the big 2K one as well. But another fun thing too is that every quarter, so that you could say February 2nd is the first quarter's big tournament, right? Because we might get 40 some people out to this one. We'll do it each quarter, do a big one that we go real ham on, but on the same weekend and everything, and just because it's going to naturally start to people are going to come less if they always know there's another one next month, and they're going to feel more. It's going to be less of a big deal and take off work less. And it'll make it so naturally there's going to be more of those one-off tourneys, or where there's only 5-6 tables taken up and only a couple people are walking home with some gold kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah, but I think consistency and organized approaches are strong, and I'm going to be in this game store nonstop, so I want to be getting content. I want to get to be playing people.
Makes sense.
We got some comments that one Ice Wolf commented a ways back about can you use square bases in tournaments? Well, since that's my tournament, yes.
Whoa,
no,
George.
Yeah, I'm modeling to my advantage. I'm actually trying to print square to circular bases conversions. So that's one way to take care of it. But no, we really don't care about. We're not going to tell anyone not to come play if they have square bases at a major event, not RTT. Then yes, that's going to be frowned upon and not allowed. Usually, base is the first thing that comes into play with restrictions. And then Shadizo had asked, "Can you be competitive with Harlequins?" I don't know if you mean 40k or Kill Team, because I think in Kill Team they're ridiculous. Yeah, really gross.
40k, they're pretty good too, but as a mono faction, very difficult. Like, that's quite challenging. But to like throw in some Yanari, maybe throw in some regular Eldari or even Dark Eldar, that's a super nasty combo. Like you're talking the elite of the elite.
Yeah, I've seen it became fairly common, at least around our circle, for people to bring a Supreme Command attachment of Harlequins just to have, they'll take the not the Shadow Seer. What's the Jester? Death Jester.
Jester.
Or Solitaire. That's who I'm trying to think about. The Solitaire can do these crazy like double moves and basically just go all the way across the board into your face and go murk characters. But people usually will just bring the characters to hide, using the character rule, and then jump out and wreck things because they're so quick and so deadly.
They're bikes that have the haywire cannons. Those are the grossest things ever.
The mortal wounds.
Yeah, the fact that on a 4-up they do mortal wounds, or is it D3 mortal wounds?
Yeah, I think.
And then on 6s it's D6 mortal wounds. Like, it's something so stupid.
I've gotten wrecked.
They're like, oh my.
Yeah, I've gotten wrecked by that.
Oh, and then just the fusion pistols. I mean, you got like some great close combat units that like have these awesome pistols on top of it. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you're getting into that second round of combat and you're still locked up, you can then shoot them and then cut your way out, or ideally shoot your way out and then get to charge something else.
Yeah. Yo, if you want to see me get really salty, I'm going to post these bat reps up as 4 bat reps in a row, and they were literally like 30 minutes games of me playing Gellerpox versus Harlequins and Kill Team. I have a better idea what I do next time, but I got my ass kicked. So if you want to see how that worked out, check out these videos I'm going to post by tomorrow. A lot better game when it was Death Guard versus the Gellerpox, and you'll see that coming soon. But speaking of new models, we also got some new Genestealer Cult coming. Chris, I heard you in the chat when we talked about the new vehicle leak. You were like, "Come on, you're giving us like almost
too much.
You're almost doubling the whole force. You're gonna have to like, oh, you thought you had Genestealer Cult? You mean you got to buy a whole faction worth of shit?
Like, come on, man. Like, I even traded away my Knights armies and got like a bunch of vehicles to like really flesh out. I've got the 2 rock grinders that are, I've got everything to magnetize them. They're still not really all the way built, but like, I haven't really had a need to build them completely for any list I've wanted to run because Genestealer Cult hasn't been great. But I mean,
without
all the stuff we're seeing.
What do you is your heartstrings like, God damn, that looks cool, you assholes?
I mean, all the new models look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm super happy, but we're getting 4 new characters. At least 4 new characters, 4 vehicles.
Which we just saw that one of the characters is the one coming in the Genestealer Cult are being featured in the new Kill Team Arena box.
Absolutely, yep. That's I forget what his name is. It starts with a G, but he's a named character. One of the cool things they featured with a tease of him today is because he has 3 arms, he has 3 pistols, and can shoot them all.
Sure.
And they are just 12-inch pistols, strength 4, neg 1, but they're 2 damage a pop. So that's kind of cool, especially in kill teams, I imagine.
Any idea when we're going to see these Genestealer Cult? I mean, hell, James is even excited. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to get some, that's for sure. I'm waiting to see that codex.
Is it the models, James, or is it just because it's like the new coolest codex about to hit the fret? What's got you hype on going Gene Stealers?
Close combat. I mean, that is honestly my favorite thing about like the game is that micromanagement, the game within a game almost. And it's all about that delivery system. So I've been hot on the Alpha Legion because I love their delivery system of forward operative. That kind of got nerfed. I was really liking the demons with Denizens of the Warp, but that's just super expensive. Where like I just think Gene Stealer is going to have everything I want. And if that's the case, when I open up that book, it's like, oh, dude, you talking? I get sweet models on top of it. Sweet.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny you say that, James, because when the Gene Stealer Cult Codex came out in 7th, I felt like their delivery system was very similar to the original Demon Codex delivery system. And I mean, it's changed a little bit since then, but it's an army that is obviously very close combat oriented and has obviously Cult Ambush, which there's even stratagems coming out to like put your vehicles in Cult Ambush supposedly. Which so sick. Yeah, exactly. For like they were saying, I think it's like one command point. I don't know if you can do it to all of your vehicles, but like it was at least like Chimeras and like Lemon, or no, it was at least the Rock Grinder and the other one, the Goliath truck.
I think one of my favorite things about what you're discussing there is just how it has a unique play style. Like when you're playing against the Gene Stealer Cult, you have to change the way you think versus any other faction, and so that's like a fun. Especially
absolutely,
when you collect multiple things. It also reminds me of Chaos in the sense that it's like a deep hole of collecting because you get started with Gene Stealer Cult, but then you have the Guard and you have the Tyranids.
Yeah,
they can fall
absolutely.
into.
And I mean, this is something that actually, George, at our Game Store Battlegrounds, there's this awesome Baneblade there that like has all of the bits. And I want it so badly, but until this Gene Stealer Cult Codex comes out, I refuse to pay for a Baneblade. Because I don't know if I can take it when the Codex drops.
Oh, come on, GW, hook them up.
Just let me know. Just let me know, Games Workshop. Just I like this Codex needs to be dropping really soon. Obviously, it's supposed to be the next Codex to drop. I'm honestly a little surprised it hasn't dropped already at this point.
Well, they're too busy giving us new rules for Adeptus Astartes. What do you think about that? Jumping into the the new bolter discipline. I just threw up the tag on the screen there. This is right here from the Warhammer community.
Dude, we can talk about this for a while.
This was released though in the White Dwarf, which is they're kind of taking on a new format with how they publicize. But they, it would have been annoying if you had to get the White Dwarf to get this rule set, but they produced it on the community page as well.
Yeah, I was actually pretty heated when I first saw the leak of the White Dwarf. I was like, come on, are you telling me that you're going to put out beta rules that change the entire competitive game in this magazine that you publish? And it affects all armies? Like, that type of stuff has always been in FAQs. Like, I was so mad when I realized, this isn't a White Dwarf. And then as those photos circulated, GW got the quick work at the community site and published it on there. And I was like, all right, GW, you get a pass this time.
Yeah, it's a trip because Chaos Space Marines and regular Space Marines, Adeptus Astartes, Heretic Astartes, is that good enough to make it worth paying the points for those models? There's a lot of people that say that they have been really not worth taking on the field. Does this change that?
What this changes is Primaris Marines again. That's all it is, dude.
That's what it is.
All right, so Terminators are cool because you can bring them in and now they're going to rapid fire. So, they can touch something out in the long distance and still charge something. So, you can kind of kit them out in cool ways. So, that makes it a little bit unique. But typically, you're going to be shooting what you're charging into. So, you're not making your charge longer. So, it's not nearly as useful. For bikes, it could be kind of cool, especially at least on the Chaos end with Black Legion. They have a stratagem that lets your bikes fire as if they were assault weapons. So you would now be able to shoot 24 inches rapid fire and still have the ability to advance. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, it's just Primaris Marines. You're talking now.
They're 18 intercessors. Yeah. What's the move there?
Well, now they're getting 36-inch range rapid fire instead of 18-inch, and they're neg 1 AP. So that's just sucks. Because
I think people have also mentioned Death Watch getting a big boost with it, right?
Well, it's just the same thing. It's the fact that like you have your Primaris intercessors that now can change their rounds. So now you have these rounds that are awesome as they were.
Cracking rounds.
You're getting twice as many because they weren't always rapid firing.
Yeah. So more of a money grab for Primaris. is James's thoughts there.
That's exactly my thoughts.
My current list brings 0 guns, so I don't give a fuck.
Dude, you should, because that's like how you're gonna get shot off the table now.
Nope.
Dude, the problem with demons is the fact that they only have imbuls.
I'm minus
so
2 to hit.
Shots is how you get through that.
Get through my minuses to hit, fool. Give it good luck.
That's easy.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but then I have more redundancy for days.
I mean, I like redundancy.
Yeah, it's a good method, but no, I'm not worried. I think if anything, it's like, okay, great. Then now we got some more models on the table that may not have been taken before. We'll probably see some gross shooting, more than we expected. You'll have to have like a little bit more of an instinct of like, that's probably going to output more damage than I'm used to, but nothing that's going to be like, oh God.
I agree with that.
But yeah, so that happened. No Genestealer Cult Codex yet. We're going to just skip over January with anything new. We'll just give them new bolter rules.
You dicks.
What's like marinating still? You know what? Let's do Kill Team Arena. We'll give them a Genestealer Cult character. Just give them one of those leaks. Make them feel good.
Like literally, I think people were expecting this codex like shortly after the Tyranid Codex. And they just keep like stringing us along with releases, which is cool. Like, we got the new Aberrant rules and the Abominant, and now we're getting this character.
Do you think there's any more secret? Like, was there any leaks or expectations of this newest vehicle that just came out that you're like, what the hell? Like, do you think there's going to be more things that drop?
Honestly, I'm not sure. With this vehicle, I haven't been following the leaks as much in the recent week or so, since we kind of already had an idea of like a lot of stuff fleshed out, I feel like. But like kind of like based off what you're saying, like at this point, nothing really surprises me.
Yeah, fair.
But at the same time, like I didn't really know this vehicle was coming. It looks like it has some kind of cannon thing. It looks like it's probably it looks like it's faster to me. I mean, it feels like it's faster than some of its other counterparts.
Dude, are you just painting it red or something?
I'll have to throw the picture up. Maybe it's because they did this cool. Like,
it looks sleeker because, like, the Genestealer Cult, like a lot of their aesthetic is kind of orky, like clunky and like looted, and this thing kind of looks more like like anyone who's played like Mass Effect, it looks like the transport from that almost, or like it's like a moon rover.
It's a sophisticated Genestealer Cult vehicle.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, I'm excited to see it. I mean, I've never got to see you even feel the rock grinders, the Genestealer Cult, which I always thought were cool too, but you'd like never see those on the table. So I'm stoked to see like Genestealer Cult bikers and the vehicles and all that.
I mean, I really hope they. One thing that like is kind of a big question for me that there's no answer to is like with characters. Like, are we going to be able to put characters on bikes? Because that would be pretty dope. Other armies can do it.
I don't want to see a Broodlord on a bike. That just seems stupid.
Well, not a Broodlord, especially because like there's actually Genestealers and the Broodlords and the Genestealer Cult army can't even get inside of transports.
Okay. So the Patriarch and a Magus, those are the ones, right?
Yeah. The Primus, the Magus, the Icon Wards, like pretty much everything else can get in transports, which is supposed to be kind of like the appeal of units like what are they called? The mutated cultists, the hypermorph hybrids.
Okay.
Or the alkali. But anyways, the ones that have like weird.
Is it a faggot?
Yeah, exactly. The ones that have like lash whips and like stuff literally built into them instead of like holding weapons and stuff.
It would be pretty awesome to see an Aberrant with his like crazy hammer thing, like rolling down on a bike. That'd be pretty nuts.
That would be crazy.
He's a little too zombie looking to imagine it, but it'd be cool.
Unfortunately for like those hybrids at the moment, they cost more than Gene Stealers, which is kind of shocking because they're not better, and they die more easily than Gene Stealers. So that I'm really excited to see. If they don't correct that in the codex, I would be very shocked. Like they clearly need either a points drop or some kind of major reworking. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in the codex that could get really better. I still have no idea what they're doing for like what is it called? Brotherhoods, I guess. Yeah, the Brood Brothers, like the regiment kind of rules.
Right.
They could really take it kind of any direction as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
I expect
we've seen some leaks though, right? I mean, they had some it was very much like the Orcs, where there was kind of like something for everything, something to help with shooting, something to help with combat, something if you stayed still, or even like the Tyranids even. It was kind of like
I felt like the Orcs was similar to the Tyranids. I haven't seen anything specifically for the Gene Stealer cult.
Okay.
However, I would be shocked if it wasn't similar kind of to like Imperial Guard. Because, I mean, a lot of their troops, I mean, the emphasis with the cult is you should be running a lot of of the hybrid troops, and those play a little bit closer to like Guardsmen, you know? Like, I mean, they even have the weapons platforms. I would kind of like to see it play kind of like a mix of Tyranids and Imperial Guard. I mean, obviously, I say that being biased because I think both those factions are great.
Would you be pretty heartbroken if the Imperium was removed from their access? You not see that happening at all? Or
I really don't see that happening at all, especially because like at least even in their index, like there are certain units that are like iconically Imperial in there. Like, I mean, I can field Lingman Russes and stuff like that out of their codex.
Right.
Or out of their index. But, I mean, I wouldn't really be heartbroken about it, per se. I haven't really been trying to run any kind of disgusting, like, Imperial combos. The only real thing that I want is to run a Baneblade, and I haven't done it yet. So.
Are you able to currently do it? No.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can
absolutely, you
so
could.
You're just worried. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to, like, buy a Baneblade and then be like, well, now I have this Baneblade.
Yeah. We just got Chicken Bone joined us. What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Good to have you. Chicken Bone in the house.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that, Chris, of just being like, hey, I now have a Baneblade.
Yeah, I mean, I can always trade it for other Gene Stealer cult stuff, I suppose. But, you know, currently you can do it, George, because the way it's worded is for every one Gene Stealer cult detachment you have, you can take one guard detachment.
Okay.
Which means the max variance you can have is one guard, one Tyranid, and one Gene Stealer cult. And yeah, you can do that.
I can dig it.
That's only at 2,000 points. What about 3,000?
Yeah. Nice, James. Nice.
Hey,
it's true.
I'm not thinking inside of a box over here.
I just gotta, I just want to take a list that's 3 Baneblades. Just a, super heavy detachment.
Dude, I remember in 7th edition, I always wanted to take a list of 8 Bloodthirsters, and I never got to it.
That'd be fun. We did
would have been flying around.
We did some proxies that was like a crazy, like max Riptides, max Wraith Knights. We've done some stuff like that. It was funny. There's back in the early days, man. Within the first year of playing, like I'd play Chris and stuff like 5,000 points and just go totally unbound and just bring like every demon prince I have, no troops, just all characters.
Sounds great.
It was fun.
Indeed.
We've had some large games. I never did. We had such choppy filming. I still have the APOC game we played of like 14,000 points at the game store. It was a cool game.
We definitely have to do that again. And now knowing how it is to film in the game store, a little bit more, I think, or at least being a little bit more prepared to engage it with like our own studio stuff right in house.
Right.
It would be cool to do another one, and I don't know, possibly even open up 1 or 2 players hopping in.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's how we should do the next one, is have a bunch of folks come in. I'm getting lower on my. I mean, I still have lots of models for sure, but I think I'm going to get ready to liquidate the Tau as well. So I still have plenty of demon. I'd have to. I'm starting to not have the side of good, only the side of evil is the side that I can represent coming soon.
Well, it's the only side that matters.
Yeah,
it's the winning side.
Orcs and chaos.
It's the only reason why I'll go Gene Stealers, because it's not really Imperium. It's like I'm a spy.
It's like your Alpha Legion.
iSwift's wondering on the store updates. iSwift, there's just one wall that needs to come down, and I'm the big like fingers crossed. The big magic would be that we are moved into the game store by the February 2nd 40k tournament, because that's my birthday weekend, and I think that there's no reason that it's just this little sliver of carpet, and if anything, if I moved all my stuff there, I just have to kind of move it when they tore this wall down. So no matter what, I'm bringing my shit in by that time, but. So the goal is by February 1st, we're going to be at the game store every day and putting out videos every day. And you might see us start, you know, I want to do as much community building as I can. We might introduce a few different games that we haven't filmed before, particularly maybe Infinity. I'm tempted to get deeper into that and film a little bit of that. Some Age of Sigmar for sure. There's some amazing armies for Age of Sigmar coming through the store. So wouldn't mind having a few of those on cam. You know, stuff of that nature. More games, more things. Definitely. Oh, there's a lot of 30K too. We have a very rich 30K community, and I wouldn't mind.
They'll be excited. They just got teased of those new models for Night Lords, I think.
Mm-hmm. Nope, Custodes.
Oh yeah, the flying Custode model. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that'll be tight. They play some really sweet narrative games. In fact, like once every so often there's like these giant Titan battles where they like take up about the size of a half court of a they take up a very large area. They play on the floor, and they put like skyscrapers down and basically play with Titans. That would be a fun thing to film for sure.
Yeah, it's
all going to be very cool. I'll be excited when our backdrop is like you're seeing the Tabletop Alchemy products on the wall. It's just gonna be tight. The one thing is there's gonna be a lot more background noise, and I've been thinking of some creative solutions for that. There's a audio effect called a gate, and I might try to apply that. It's a kind of a real-time librarian that it's like whenever you're talking, unless your voice reaches a certain threshold in the microphone, it won't activate, so it just turns the mic off automatically. And as soon as you talk into the mic, it achieves enough threshold for the gate to activate, and it lets your audio come through. So, might play a little bit around with that and see if we can get some plus crank up the tunes. But that's just random thoughts coming from my head right now. No one cares. They're like, just make the magic happen. But I'm looking super forward to it, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be cool. I mean, not to mention it's going to activate starting to get on. I mean, everything's going to start getting more consistent and bigger and better. Like just like we're talking about a lot more content, we're also going to start going live with our giveaways again. We've slacked off on that, and we're coming up with a whole new program that's going to just stay live with ongoing giveaways that are pretty sick, substantial values, starting off with a painted Gilliman by the very own James Schaff right here. And now looking forward to finally giving that away. We've held on to that since the inception of the business. And, yeah, the business really is just an inception, as a business usually makes money. We do have we've started this with an odd approach compared to maybe some, being that we do this. We were very passionate about the hobby, and we decided that we wanted to go professional with it. And
we take fun seriously.
Yeah, we take fun seriously, as it says, So it was we didn't make any qualms about trying to turn this into a way to make a living. And it's honestly, we're just a bunch of dreamers trying to make something come true. And I almost have more fun playing that game of trying to be able to break out of the norm of the grind, working for someone else on the 9 to 5. And that in itself is kind of like the great game right now. And if anything, I'm trying to find people that support people pushing themselves to make the magic happen, do more than what is the obvious. It's a struggle and it's a bitch, and mainly because you don't know when your next paycheck's going to come and if you're going to be able to pay the bills. But fighting hard, liquidating my 40k armies a little at a time, trickling my survival along, trying to go live with the big stuff. And going into the game store is a huge move. Being able to partner with Battlegrounds, along with our other awesome supporters we've had over the last year with Death Ray Designs, Crystal Fortress, Game Out of You, Best Coast Pairing, Worlds Overrun. It's been crazy. So yeah, there's too much good stuff happening to believe that it's not going to continue to happen. Speaking of cool things, you could if you want to get a little something now to support us and have something cool yourself, you could get some dice. There's a sweet look. Everybody's been asking when's the purple and teal coming back. Can't get more back until we get rid of what we got. And right now that's the Vortex Green, the pink and blue or pink and purple. We got a little bit of Vortex Orange, and we got the black, gold, and silver, and then the far left there with the purple, red, and gold, which are very cool. They're kind of the red and purple version instead of that purple and teal version. Very much alike, though. Very, very beautiful. So yeah, that's about all we need to cover this week, friends, as far as what we got going on in life. I don't know if there's anything particular. We do have enough time to cover any auxiliary topics if you got any.
Dude, I know it's not necessarily 40K.
Yeah.
But I made my fucking hobby desk way awesome.
You did.
I think you got a picture of that.
Do I have a picture of that?
I believe so. I shared it.
With the light strips and whatnot?
Yeah, with my bridge light.
I don't have your entire. You just showed me a big scan of your desk, and it was looking super sweet. But check out this image here. You can see in the backdrop the 3D printed paint holders on the pegboard that James configured, and then here is this custom made Halo light rack that you made. Tell us about it, James. Pretty freaking sweet, man. It's huge.
Yeah, dude, it's massive. It's a little over 3 feet wide. So my table's not quite big enough, so I had to add an extra table next to it. But what's great about it is that 180 degrees, like I'm making so there's no shadow. I also have a GoPro mount to go to the top of it. I just need to go to the hardware store and get a bolt. And I have the Logitech that Gordito helped us out with. And with those two cameras, I'm going to start putting together some Twitch tutorials, turning those into YouTube finish tutorials. So we're not only cranking up content at the store, but we're going to be cranking up hobby content.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's great, man. Super stoked on that as well. I think just because I think it was, Chicken Bone was mentioning his less than desirable Gilliman. I wanted to show him the sweet one that you painted up. Here we go. Getting into my pictures here.
Yeah, that was Shadizo. Chicken Bone's saying he needs some pot holders.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He spilled some wash. I mean, everyone spills some wash. I definitely use those. Every time I bring paints down from the wall, they go inside those things.
Can't find my Gilliman. My Gilliman pics. I mean, I have them physically, but I just can't find the dang sexy image. Oh, here we go. I got it, friends. Bam. Here's the Gilliman we'll be giving away. He's freaking cool. The sweet thing is that the helmet is actually magnetized to the base, and you can swap out his standard head there for the magnetized helmet, which I might be able to load up if I'm skillful. Yeah, here's the helmeted version. Swing. Pretty sick, friends. Pretty sick.
It's a cool model.
That'll be going live soon as to launch off our giveaway. We're gonna activate a Patreon and see if we have enough friends out there that are able to kick us a bone. I know that not everybody's in a place to be able to do that, and certainly don't expect it. But if there is folks that are capable to help support dreamers like us, then it's going to be amazing to get your support, and we're going to get back to you with sick giveaways and some other exclusive features that we'll let you know about soon. But yeah, that is the week, friends. We'll be back show for Tabletop Alchemy 3D printing, and then tomorrow maybe even late into the evening, I will be posting about 7 bat reps or so. I think it's 6. I don't know. I'm going to 4 Harlequin and Gellerpox battles and 3 Gellerpox versus Death Guard. And that was kind of neat. That was just last night on Twitch. Again, you can catch us on Twitch if you want to catch us live and be a part of the action. Watch it on the back end on YouTube. We do our live talk shows here, though. That is the news. See Tom with the weather. You need a PayPal tip link. That PayPal tip link might be better than Patreon. Appreciate you, Chicken Boat. Definitely the YouTube will soak up those little super chats, even though it's really fun to see that. They take like a big chunk of it.
30%.
Yeah, as in 30% chunk. We really want to actually make a living on this, so we'll figure something out. But it's going to try here soon. Really appreciate everybody. Y'all keep taking fun seriously, and we'll catch you next time.
Adios.